Hello, y'all. You wouldn't believe how hard it's been to get this video made today. This is probably the 7th time I've started this. Life of a caregiver never stops. Never does. Anyway, we're going to get this done this time. So what I was talking to you about earlier was, do you remember when you first realized that there was a little something going wrong with your loved one, maybe with dementia, before you knew that they had it? Because with my mother, she was thinking that there were people knocking on her door in the middle of the night, that they were people in the living room in the early morning talking, usually me and my children, that we were all over there before daylight in the living room talking really loud, and she would call me the next day and say, "What were y'all doing over here? Why were you in my living room?" After a few of these times, you start realizing something is not quite right here. And a little bit later, she called me one day and she said that she saw 2 emus. I said emus outside at the bird feeder. Now, could have been turkeys, could have been something, but it wasn't emus, I promise you. Not where we live. But she, in her mind, she, honest to goodness, thought she saw what she thought she saw anyway. That wasn't that long ago, before we moved her over here. And so there's always things like that. She, even over here, since we moved her over here, she still thinks occasionally that there's somebody knocking on the wall. She said the other day that somebody came through in the middle of the night and was knocking on the wall outside of her bedroom window. And it was probably somebody that works 3rd shift and was walking on their way home and just came by through her backyard that is completely fenced in and knocked on her wall on the way home. Now, in her mind, she always finds a reason why it's happening. The emus, well, there's probably an emu farm around here and they got loose from their farm. And like the man or the person knocking on the back of her house, well, he works 3rd shift. He's probably walking home and just doing it to annoy. She always has some reason to kind of cover for what she's seeing. And I don't argue with her. I don't tell her. I did to start with. I didn't argue, but I would tell her, like, "Are you sure you saw emus? We shouldn't have emus around here." But she was very persistent that that's what she saw, and she believed it. So then I finally just learned, best thing I can do is go, "Well, okay, they're emus. All right." And the man knocking on the house and us being, I tell her that, of course, that wasn't us in the living room, but she might have been dreaming. So, you always, looking back, I think a lot of people don't realize when it first happens that you start realizing that your loved one has something going on. You just kind of, it slips by you. And then later on you look back at it and realize there was something happening long before you got your diagnosis. My grandmother, unfortunately, had dementia and Alzheimer's also. And when we first realized something was going on there, I went to cut her grass one day, and a couple of days later, she called my mother, and she said, "You should have seen her out there cutting that grass. She had on the longest, most beautiful dress and jewels just hanging off of her cutting that grass. She was beautiful." Of course, we laughed about it until it went from that to a lot of other things, and then we realized something bad is happening here. And then eventually, of course, she was diagnosed with dementia and Alzheimer's. So I'm just curious, what were your first signs with your loved one, if you had someone with dementia, that you caught on to something may not quite be right? It's such a slow, sneaky progress of the mind going wild, by the time you realize something's really wrong, they probably had it for quite a while. Because I did hear a study that said that people who get dementia probably have it 10 years before, they're really diagnosed with it. And I believe, looking back, that's probably true. But it's hard because it's such a slow process of your loved one slowly going away, and you grieve them in such a slow way while they're still here. It was different when it was my grandmother, when it was my aunt and my uncle, because her mother and her brother and her sister all died with the same disease, and now she has it. She's the last one of her family left. It's harder when it's your mother, because we're so close that it's so hard to watch her slowly fade away, and it's such a slow thing. You know, she gets a little better, she gets a lot worse. She gets a little better, she gets a lot worse. And it's a daily thing. Every day when I realize it's time to take her medicine over there and give it to her so she'll go to sleep at night, it's another reminder. Every time my camera that goes off at her house makes that little sound, it's another reminder of, this is real, and it hurts so bad. And when I see her cry, when she realizes that what's happening to her, it's so sad. And, you know, even she said once that if I could just die quickly, I wouldn't mind that. She said herself, but it's the going slowly that's bothering me the most. And I agree. You know, as much as I don't want my mother to go, I would rather her just to go to sleep and not wake up than to just do what I've seen happen before with my family, just suffer and suffer and suffer and slowly, completely forget everybody you know and everybody you love and forget how to eat. My grandmother forgot how to feed herself. She forgot how to get dressed. Frank's mother had Alzheimer's, and she did all the same things. You know, it was very hard to watch her slowly lose her functioning. We all pray and hope that someday they'll find a cure, but for those that have already passed from it, and those of us that are in it now, that can never come soon enough. And the reality for me is my aunt, my uncle, my grandmother, and my mother all have had dementia, Alzheimer's, and died with it. And that makes me very scared for my future. And I'm about to be 59, so I've probably got some years left, maybe, hopefully. You know, you never know what age you'll get it, but my aunt got it in her early 70s. My grandmother was in her late 70s. My mother was in her mid-70s, and my uncle was in his 70s. So it just seems like it's hereditary in our family. And I've heard it is hereditary, and then there's some that say it's not. It's just you never know, but it looks like it to me. So it's something to think about and pray all the time that there is a cure found for this. We can put a man on the moon. Can we please find a cure for Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's and all these other terrible diseases that take our family away so slowly? And just know that if you're caregiving for someone and you're doing the best you can, just keep doing it. Just keep pushing through every day, because it's not easy. It's hard every day. It's always a challenge. And some days you look like this, you just want to cry all the time. And some days they're just better than others. But unfortunately, today's been a tough day for me. Not only has it been the caregiving, but I've been sick myself all day. I've been nauseous and had a heck of a headache all day, probably because I'm so stressed. But then, you know, you got to keep going. If you feel bad, it doesn't matter. You got to still keep going and keep taking care of the ones that you took that job on for, and keep loving them and smile and don't let them know how bad you feel. Sometimes it's hard to do, but we do it anyway. But just know that we're all going to get through this together. We're all going to be okay. It's hard, but if it's worth having, it's hard. So anyway, y'all pray for me. I'll pray for you. And we'll all make it through this, and just pray that one day there's a cure for these terrible diseases. And until next time, y'all take care of yourselves, okay? Bye.